Hello and welcome to ET Auto. Today we are at Maruti Suzuki Pavilion to talk to Mr. Shashank Srivastava, who is Executive Director, Sales and Marketing, Maruti Suzuki India. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, first of all, I would like to understand about the Maruti Suzuki's strategy to become the number one leader in the SUV segment, as there are statements that by financial year 2024 you will achieve it.
Yeah, so obviously SUV segment now one of the largest segment in the industry. 42% of the market is SUV. In fact, December month was about 45%. We have in the non-SUV part of the market about 65% market share. But when you combine with the market share of SUVs, then our market share falls to just under 45%. One of our targets is to achieve 50% market share overall. And that means we can achieve it only if we increase our market share in the SUV space. And one big weakness which we had in the SUV space was we had just two models, Brezza and the recently launched Grand Vitara. These models currently giving us about 15-16% market share. In fact, depending on the production, because there is a production constant at the moment. But clearly, with this in the industry being in SUVs are about 46 number models, we have only two. So very easy and obvious conclusion was that we should increase the number of models in the segment in this segment, and that's why today we have launched these two new SUVs. With this, definitely we will like to increase our market share, and clearly it is a very good possibility, and that's our target, to become the leading SUV manufacturer in the country in the year 23-24. By the way, in the entry SUV segment, Brezza is the leader. In the mid SUV segment, while we have launched the Grand Vitara, which is getting amazing response, we have some production issues, but we are getting very amazing response. Bookings crossing a lakh and 15,000 now. The full effect of volume will come in the next year. So a combination of that full year effect of Grand Vitara volumes, the better availability of Brezza, which has got a long waiting list, and these two models, the Fronx and the Jimny, I do believe it's very much possible, and that's a target which we have, that we will achieve number one in the SUV space.
As you mentioned about Jimny and Fronx, these are the two star unveil of the day. I want to understand about your expectations from these two models particularly, because these two are quite catering to two different set of customers.
Correct.
And compared to your existing companies where Grand Vitara is there, Brezza is there, and can we see more line of SUVs in terms like a premium SUV? So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so see, it's like this. What we have found from our experience and also the past data research, whenever a segment becomes large, there is sub-segmentation which happens. For example, in the entry SUV space, the compact SUV space, we have found that now that it's the largest sub-segment in the industry, we have found that sub-segments have emerged. Two clear segments which are not being catered to, the requirements of which are not being catered to in the current industry scenario. One is the urban, young, technology-savvy consumer looking for a lot of features, but not fully happy with the normal vehicles, compact SUVs which are available. Those are the Brezza, the Sonnet, the Venue type of vehicles, but is looking for something which is more edgy and new, and that is where Fronx comes in. It's meant for that urban, young and technology savvy customer. The other segment which I think is not being completely catered to is the lifestyle SUV consumer. Currently, there is one model in the industry which caters to that, but we believe that this category is going to get very big, especially with the introduction of another model which is Jimny in this category. So I think that particular category is of consumers who live the SUV life, which is with passion, with purpose. They sometimes go off-roading, or even if they don't go off-roading, they want to project themselves as the tough off-roader type of people. So in that type of category also, the current vehicle which is available probably not sufficient for the volumes which can come in this segment, and that's why we have introduced the Jimny as well.
One question on the Indian car market. I wanted to understand from your viewpoint on the industry holistically. This year gonna be a record year for the Indian passenger vehicle market, but for the next financial year, there are experts saying there will be some problems in terms of supply crunch, Russia-Ukraine war, US recession happening. What is your viewpoint on this?
Yeah, so clearly we have been discussing this very extensively. Clearly, there are some red flags which we need to watch for. And I think that's where the question is coming from. The red flags are about interest rates. There is inflation. In response to inflation, generally central banks have increased repo rates, which have led to increase in the retail loan rate. Remember, in our industry, 80% of the retails happens through loans. So that's one red flag. We also have to see that the fortunes of the auto industry growth is very closely related to the overall economic growth, and there are some questions both globally, and some people are saying ultimately it should come to India as well. Yes, so there are those questions as well. The third question that people say is around supply disruption, which might happen because some part of the world gets affected by some either war or some other like COVID like situation, I think. So clearly those are red flags which we must watch for, and that is the reason why there is no consensus of what the next year is going to be. So some people are saying there will be flat or no growth, and other people saying that can go up to 7.5%. Maruti Suzuki has taken a slightly more optimistic part. We are looking at volumes which should be around 4.05 to 4.1 million. That's roughly a 7% growth over 22-23, which should end up with around 3.8 million.
This is for financial year 2024. The next financial year.
2024, yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.